God is not confined in the space of the individual. He's not found in the space of the collective, the Jama'ah. He's not found in the structure of the mosque. He's not found in the Kaaba. He has no place. You are contextualized the individual and the collective in angelic realities. In a span of every 3 fingers or 4 fingers is angels glorifying God, for example. So you are now contextualized individually through Islam, collectively through Islam, through congregational activities, through the group activity, for example. You all become contextualized as the body, the cells and the bodies of the body of believers. You become contextualized in a larger realm, a larger reality. And that is the realm of angelic truth, the truth of angels, the realities. Prophetic realities, as prophets explain to us realities beyond us, the things of the ghaib, for example. And so you are matrixed in those realities. So there's this hierarchy there. And at the same time, you are now shifted through ihsan to experience something. So the first two are very physical. The individuals become a collective, and then the individual and the collective in the larger matrix of reality, of the creation of God, premised upon Allah who exists. And through his sifat of existence, He casts out into non-existence that everything else will exist. From paradise to hellfire to angels to atoms to quarks and bosons and all that stuff that exists, and which you are matrixed in and you are a part of. These two things, Islam and Iman, have a quality, and Allah is beautiful. Allah loves beauty, and that's the language of God. The beauty of it all is then to take these things, the individual, and then the collective, the body of the believers, in the larger realm of reality, premised upon the existence of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you shall not see God as if you see God. You shall have an experience of that. This is the fullness of it. You see, even the stars, whatever they may be, the planets, fish in the lake over here, and go to, the middle house down the road, up the road over there. All these things exist because Allah exists. But then the ihsan is about a real state of consciousness, of awareness. You shift it to a state of conscious awareness, which is the language of vision, of shuhud. And that is something that people of Tasawwuf always speak of. The vision of God, of being a person who has a state who has shuhud. And that's one of the words used for the concept of fana, for example, in the Sufi language, the istilahat, in terms of the Sufi, is if you see God in everything. And as I was telling the sisters upstairs, if you're bored with life, if you're finding childcare, curry cooking, ironing, boring, it's because you haven't seen God in that yet. You haven't been able to connect that yet. And that's because you're in a state of unawareness, ghafla. And so tasawwuf, practically, is just simply a path of ihsan, to make you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Though you don't really see Him, it's like seeing Him. And the scholars describe it different ways, ihsan. That you'll be obedient to the sacred law, you'll be obedient to the sharia, you'll avoid the haram things, you will fulfill the awamir, the commands of God, for example. That's the language that comes in that way. That's one of the ways it's articulated. It can be articulated in many ways from the traditions. But this is what you have to understand, is that you have to take yourself, and these three things, along with the knowledge of the signs of the Day of Judgment, that's the deen. If your deen is only Islam and Iman, and without ihsan, your deen is not as deficient. It's deficient. It's deficient. It's not kamil yet. Al-yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum. Allah wants kamalat. He wants perfections. He wants completeness. Bu'ittu liyutammama makam akhlaq. I was brought to have itmam, completion, wholeness qualities. You see, Rasulullah came, and this religion is about bringing humanity to wholeness, to completion, to finish the work. Your deen must have Islam, Iman, and it must have ihsan. And just as these things have been preserved for us through historical activities. The Quran, for example. Allah is the Hafiz of the Quran. We reveal the Quran. We ourselves regard the Quran. Then you ask yourself, and I love this one. I often bring it up, especially when I talk to non-Muslims. And I ask them, well, how do you think Allah... I gave this talk recently at the University of Texas and the MSA there. And I said, do you know, I want to tell you a secret. All you non-Muslims have been wondering that you can't go to Mecca. I'm going to tell you what's in the Kaaba. I usually say it's a Starbucks. I'm waiting for the sailors to go to Starbucks in the Kaaba. It's got the right color scheme. So when they do it, don't be surprised. They've already built buildings bigger than the Kaaba because there's no respect for it. They got a clock that's bigger than the Kaaba with these devil horns on top of it. But that's me, my commentary, social commentary. I said, what's in the Kaaba? There's an angel inside there. And that angel has this golden Quran with a flaming sword. And that's how the Quran is preserved. And I'm like, wow. And I said, oh no, it really isn't that way. It's just empty. You got it. Like, wow, it must be true. It's one of those awliyaullah, you can see things like that, and I can't. You can buy the 3D glasses, when you go into the Kaaba, they're like glasses. Like going to the IMAX theater, you can I said, no, you know what it was? It was men who, the Prophet said, he was given the angel, he recited it. He got scribes around him. They wrote it down. They checked it. And then the angel came every year in Ramadan and had Muqabala across and he read it to him. The scribes were there. Zayd bin Thabit was one of them. The Prophet passes away. The book is not yet compiled in a textual form, in a book form, not bound yet. It's scattered around. Omar, there are some battles. Kuffars are being killed. Omar brings the attention to Sayyidina Abu Bakr. You got to collect the Quran. I can't do this. Don't tell me. He said, you better do it. Get Zayd. Okay, I agree to it. You bring Zayd bin Thabit. He comes. They collect. They collect it. Put it in a box. Leave it there. I can't do more than that. Omar becomes caliph. Then he does what? He takes that. Or put it in a book form. Zayd, put it in a book form. Check it. Oh, it's a book form now. Give it to Hafsa. It has to Hafsa. Goes to Osman. That doesn't seem miraculous. That's not miraculous. It's like doing your homework. That's how God does things, by the way. Because He is behind everything. There's no hocus pocus in Islam. If you're looking for hocus pocus, you go to the set of Harry Potter series and you find hocus pocus. It's all jimmy rigged. You get magic wands and scepters and invisible cloaks, and stuff like that. That's Harry Potter. That's Hollywood. That's Bollywood. That's not Islam. Allah works through phenomenal means. He causes you to be ill. He gives you health. Right? And yet He commands you to eat. You feel satiated. Shabi'tu, I'm full. He's the one who creates that. But you forget that, you see. Because you've forgotten God. You've forgotten your basic theology, which you should have studied at the Al-Mustafa Center, which you haven't been doing. And so your tasawwuf was to make you read that book because it says you need that basic knowledge, and then it's going to tell you then you need to take it to a higher level of experiencing what the book was telling you about that Allah is behind everything. He creates you and creates what you do. He creates you and what you do. And you know that to be the case. And you don't get bored of things anymore. Like one of the Salaf said, he was asked, I have my notes at home on my books, I don't remember the name, I don't remember everything. He said, yeah, you know what? He said, this was the Salaf, one of the early Muslims who liked solitude. And the man said, one of his companions said, don't you ever get bored by yourself? And then he responded, I've never seen anyone who could get bored with God. So if you're bored, you don't know Allah yet. Yeah, you know of Allah. You heard about it.